Okay, today we are going to learn how to use the pivot table you created in the first video of the series to find contact information for your top agencies that you identified on that pivot table. This is only one way to find contact information for federal agencies. There are other ways, but this is a more focused way of finding the information that you need, because from the pivot table that you created in the first video, you know that those agencies are buying your products and services, and the procurements that are, or the awards that are listed under each agency is connected to a specific office that procured those specific products and services. So it's just a very focused way to find the actual people who work out of those offices and buy your products and services. So in order to do that, we need to first download a spreadsheet from a website. So go ahead and minimize your pivot table if it is open on your computer and go to your web browser. The website that we're going to visit is called Federal Procurement Data System, or FPDS. So you can type in fpds.gov in your web browser. We'll wait just a minute for this to pull up. Seems to be having some issues, so let me try one more time. There we go. Okay. So this is what the home page should look like on fpds.gov. And this website, what it's used for is federal agencies actually upload the award data into this website. And USA Spending which is the website we used to create the pivot tables. We used the data from there. USA Spending actually pulls the data from FPDS. You're welcome to do any searching you want in FPDS, but for the purpose of the pivot tables, it is much more user-friendly to use USA Spending, which is why that's how we learned how to do that. So from here, to pull the spreadsheet that we're looking for, you need to go to the top of your web page, and under the heading for worksite, you want to click that. And then on the right hand side, you want to go down under reference, and you're going to download this list of contracting offices. So as soon as you click that, it'll download to your computer, and it should be in the bottom left hand side. And I'm going to go ahead and open it. And if you have this ribbon at the top of your your spreadsheet, go ahead and click Enable Editing so that you can work within the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet's very large. There's lots of offices and codes listed on here by the department and then the sub-agency here. And so we're going to go back to our pivot table and pull an office code and look it up on this spreadsheet to cross-reference it with FedBizOps to find the office location that we're looking for and find the contact information. So off of this spreadsheet, the two columns that we're going to pay the most attention to is column E, which is the office code, column F, which is the office name, and then possibly the address, the city, and the state. Go ahead and minimize this for now. You may want to go ahead and save it to your computer and have it on hand. They may periodically update this spreadsheet, so you may want to download a new one once in a while to have the most current information. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and come back to my pivot table. And I'm going to click on the NAICS pivot. you're welcome to click on the PSC pivot, but I'm going to use the NAICS one. And I'm going to pull in one additional data point. So on the right-hand side under my fields, I'm going to look for awarding office code, which is right here. So you're going to click on that and drag it down into your rows column. And when you do that, you will see that under each sub-agency you have a code. And these codes correspond to an office location on the spreadsheet that we just downloaded from FPDS. So go ahead and identify a code of a sub-agency you want to look up. I'm going to go and choose this one. And if you select it in your spreadsheet, you'll want to hover and with your cursor and then right click and hit copy. And then you're going to navigate to your office spreadsheet, which should still be open on your computer. Now from here you want to click anywhere in the spreadsheet and just highlight a field. You're going to hold down the control key, which is located at the bottom left of your keyboard. You're going to hold it and then press the F as in Frank key at the same time, and you're going to have your find and replace window is going to open up. And your cursor should already be in the find what field, so go ahead and right click and hit paste, which should put the office code you copied in this box. And go ahead and hit find all. Now, before I move on, there's a couple things to keep in mind. If you perform this function and you're not able to find the office code that you're in, it is possibly due to the integrity of the data that was input into FPDS. So whoever input the office code for the specific sub-agency that you're looking at may not have entered the correct one, or maybe it's incomplete, which will make it hard to find on the spreadsheet. And if that's the case, then you may have to go about finding contact information another way. So keep that in mind. And if you need help, please contact your PTAC to help you with this process, and they can maybe help troubleshoot other ways to find the contact information, okay? As you can see, when I did that, the code on my spreadsheet automatically moved to where it was located on the spreadsheet. So you can go ahead and hit close. I'm going to click on the line that this data is located on. I'm going to just come up here to the top to my paint bucket. I'm going to highlight it yellow, just so I can kind of keep track of it. So again, what we're paying attention to, so this one's Department of Agriculture, so that's the head department. You do need to know that, and so write that down, make note of it. And Agricultural Research Service, I would make note of that too. That's the sub-agency. Then you want to make note of the actual office name, which in my case is this name here. So I know that it's USDA, which is U.S. Department of Agriculture, ARS, which is Agricultural Research Service, and then WBSC and some other information. And then also make note of the city and state, because that can sometimes help you find the office location too and find the contact information. So once you've noted all of that, you're going to then open up your web browser, and I'm gonna open up a new window, and you're gonna go to FedBizOps or fbo.gov. Okay. So from here, go ahead and click on Advanced Search Form. And there's a list of lots of criteria you can search for. So I'm going to leave place of performance blank, and not select a state. And the reason is a lot of these, or some of these agencies, sub-agency offices could be organized by region, and so one location may cover multiple states, so we don't want to restrict our search too much by selecting a state. Under documents to search, I would choose both active and archived, so we can see everything in case there's no active documents, but there were some in the past. We want to be able to see some type of contact information because we're looking at postings done by these agencies. That's how we're going to find the contact information. Go ahead and leave set aside and opportunity procurement type. Don't select anything. And then come down to agency/office locations, and you're going to choose specific agency office location. Now in the search field, this is where you're going to type the department, which mine was Department of Agriculture. So I'll select that here. And then once you do that, you want to hit this button for Show Update Office Locations. Because now, down below comes up different office names, and that we want to find, we want to try to find the one that we notated from our spreadsheet. So I noted that mine was USDA, ARS, WBSC, and then agricultural branch. So I'm just going to first start typing in the name as it was in my spreadsheet to see what comes up. So a couple things are coming up under USDA, but I can tell already this isn't what I'm looking for. So then let's take another part of the name, which was WBSC, and see what shows up. Okay, so nothing showed up under that. Let's just make it a looser search and do W. And as you can see, I do have a match. So this says Agricultural Research Service / Western Business Service Center. So I know that ARS was part of my name, and so I know that stands for Agricultural Research Service, and that WBSC stands for Western Business Service Center. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And the reason I had to try multiple things is because nothing was showing up. So if you loosen the way you search, you'll get more results to compare the office name that you got from your spreadsheet to see if it's listed here. So for example, the spreadsheet listed everything by an acronym, but it's actually spelled out in FBO. So you may have to mess with or manipulate what you type into this field to find the actual office that you're looking for. So I went ahead and check marked it. And then I'm going to leave everything else blank. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and hit search. And now you're going to see all the postings, and they're going to start with the newest ones on top, and you can see there's several pages, 147, that are going to have different postings, and they're going to start with the newest and work their way down to the oldest and the archived ones. Now if you click into any of these, you'll find contact information. So if we first I'll just go into this first one, and I scroll to the very bottom. And I can find a primary and a secondary point of contact. And this one actually happens to be in Montana. And if I go back to my opportunities list, I can look at another one. So let's just see what this one has. There may be a different contact person. Scroll down. I think this is a different person. So you can find several points of contact within the agency and the specific office that those products and services were procured from if you can, by utilizing the spreadsheet downloaded from FPDS, cross-referencing that with your pivot table, using your pivot table, cross-referencing it with your spreadsheet and fbo.gov. You can find contact information this way. Now, if you go back to your search, I'm going to go back to I'm going to refine the results. I'm just going to go back to this page. Now, if you try typing in different criteria or different ways of typing in that office name in this field here, and you really just are not seeing anything that matches the office you're trying to find, you may need to utilize Google to find the location or find a contact name, even one phone number to contact that office. So don't be afraid to use Google if you're not quite finding what you're looking for. You'd be amazed at what you can find just by typing something into a Google search. And again, if you have trouble utilizing the spreadsheet and your pivot table and FBO to find what you need, and even Google, contact PTAC, and we can help you work through some of that and troubleshoot to find other ways of finding the contact information. So that concludes our final video on how to find contact information using your pivot table and the office codes from FPDS. So please visit our YouTube channel and watch all 3 in the series so you have a full understanding of pivot tables and some of their functions.